Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Amna e-commercewali. I'm a student Rehan AI Teacher training student batch 21. Today I ask some question from ChatGPT. Hello. Hello.
Hey, great to have you here. How's it going? What can I help you with today?
I ask some question.
Of course, take your time. I'm here and ready. What would you like to ask or what's on your mind?
Okay. What does less is more mean?
That's a great phrase. Less is more basically means that simplicity and minimalism can be more effective or beautiful than overcomplicating things. So, by using fewer elements, you can often create a stronger impact.
Okay. Can heavy favor thing make life better?
That's a really thoughtful question. Yeah, in a lot of ways, simplifying or reducing excess can bring clarity and peace. But of course, balance is key. Sometimes a bit of richness or complexity is exactly what adds value. So it depends on the context.
Okay. How can less stress help you feel happy?
Yeah, that's a great one. When you simplify, you tend to reduce stress because you're not overwhelmed by too many choices or distractions. You also tend to focus more on what really matters, whether that's people, activities, or goals, which can bring more fulfillment and peace.
Okay. Why is simply life sometime more peaceful?
Yeah, exactly. When life is simpler, you have fewer distractions, fewer obligations, and often more time to just be present. That can make space for calm, gratitude, and really meaningful experiences, which just feels peaceful.
Okay. How can less talking improve communication?
Oh, that's a really interesting angle. When you say less, you tend to focus more on the essentials. So each word or gesture carries more weight. It also gives space for others to speak and for deeper listening. So it can make communication clearer and more intentional.
Okay. Why is less screen time good for you?
Yeah, cutting down on screen time can be really beneficial because it gives your mind a break, helps you sleep better, and reduces stress. Plus, it frees up time for other things like being outside, reading, or just having more face to face connection, which can all boost your mood.
Okay. Can favor friends still mean strong friendship?
Absolutely. Even if you don't see each other all the time, strong friendships can really thrive on trust, communication, and shared history. As long as you stay connected in meaningful ways, those friendships can stay super strong.
Okay. Can less work sometime give better result?
Yeah, for sure. When you focus on fewer tasks, you can put more energy into each one, so the quality often goes up. Less multitasking means less mental clutter, and you can really go deeper, which often brings better results in the long run.
Okay. How can saving money help you?
Yes, saving money can give you a sense of security and freedom. It reduces stress because you have a safety net, and it also gives you more choices in the future, whether that's for big goals, unexpected needs, or just more flexibility in life.
Okay. How can favor goals help you focus better?
Yeah, having clear goals really gives you a sense of direction. When you know what you're aiming for, it's easier to prioritize your time and energy. Plus, it kind of acts as a filter, so you're less likely to get distracted by things that don't serve your bigger picture.
Okay. Why is less knows better for your mind?
Yeah, because when your mind isn't constantly bombarded with clutter, whether that's extra tasks, noise, or distractions, it's easier to stay calm, creative, and focused. That mental clarity lets you process things better so you feel less scattered and more at peace.
Okay. Can less social media make you happier?
It can, in moderation. When used mindfully, social media can help you connect with others, feel inspired, or find a sense of community. But if it's overdone, it can become a source of comparison or stress. So balance is key.
How can favorite clothes still be enjoyed?
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you have fewer things, you can still have really meaningful connections with the stuff that matters most. By keeping only what's important, each item or relationship can carry more emotional weight, making it just as enriching, if not more so.
Okay. Why is less angry better in life?
Yeah, less can help you stay more intentional and less reactive. When you simplify, you reduce the clutter, and that makes it easier to focus on what really matters. So you respond with more calm and clarity, which just feels better.
Okay. How can less pressure improve your performance?
Yeah, when you remove pressure, you often give yourself space to be more creative and present. Instead of rushing or feeling overwhelmed, you can focus on the process, stay more engaged, and that often leads to better, more consistent results.
Okay. Why is less compared with others important?
Yeah, because when you're not constantly comparing yourself, you focus more on your own progress and values. That lets you define success on your own terms, which is often more fulfilling and less stressful in the long run.
Can less favor help you grow?
Yeah, definitely. When you let go of excess, you create space to focus on personal growth, on the things that matter most. You free up mental and physical energy to deepen skills, relationships, and purpose, which really helps you grow.
How can favor distraction help you study?
Oh, absolutely. When you reduce distractions, you can really focus deeply on the material at hand. You get into that flow state more easily and your concentration stays sharper, so you retain information better and study more efficiently.
Why is less talking sometimes more powerful?
Yeah, because when you speak less, each word you choose tends to have more impact. It leaves space for others to reflect, and it creates a sense of intention and weight. So people really listen to what you're saying.
Okay. Why is less talking sometimes more powerful?
Yeah, exactly. When you talk less, you give your words more weight. People pay closer attention because each thing you say feels more deliberate. It also invites space for listening and reflection, which can make your message that much more powerful.
How can less negativity bring more positively?
Yeah, when you let go of negative thinking, you create more mental space for gratitude, optimism, and possibility. By reducing that negative focus, you start to notice the good things more, and that naturally boosts your mood and outlook.
Okay. Why is less complaining good for your mid mindset?
Yeah, because when you complain less, you focus more on solutions and gratitude. It shifts your mindset from feeling stuck or powerless to feeling empowered and open to possibilities. So your mental energy goes more toward growth and positive change.
Okay. Can less multitask improve your work?
Yeah, so actually, when you multitask less, you give each task more attention and focus, which usually leads to better quality work. You reduce mental fatigue, make fewer mistakes, and get things done more efficiently with better results.
How can less control bring more peace?
Yeah, when you let go of trying to control every detail, you often reduce anxiety and allow yourself to be more present. It creates space for flexibility and flow, so things can unfold naturally and you stay more peaceful and focused.
Why is less culture better for your more room?
Yeah, because when you focus on less, you often feel more grounded and aligned with what truly matters. You're not constantly pulled in different directions, so you feel more centered, more intentional, and that boosts your sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Okay. Can less expectation bring more happiness?
Yeah, absolutely. When you lower your expectations, you leave more room for surprise and gratitude. Instead of being let down, you appreciate what is, and that can bring a lot more peace and joy in everyday moments.
How can less effort sometimes give better result?
Yeah, because when you take on fewer things, you can really dedicate your time and energy to what matters. You avoid burnout, you get more clarity, and the results often feel more impactful and sustainable in the long run.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome.